guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew for those who are new, and I really love my plants. I decided today that I haven't posted in a while because of the pandemic situation. I do hope that everybody is staying happy and healthy out there. I did get a bunch of new plants since the last time I posted a plant tour. So I've decided that maybe it might be a great time to do a little bit of an updated plant tour just of my downstairs area. Without further ado, I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Alright guys, without further ado, I hope you enjoy this plant tour, and I will talk to you at the end. Alright guys. Alright, so as we enter my home, the very first plant that you are greeted with is this gigantic peace lily. This was actually a rescue mission that I received from a local store, and they were actually going to throw this out because of a few brown leaves, which I assume to be due to a little bit of sun damage because it was in full sun. I rescued this girl here. She's been doing lovely here in this corner, and right above her I have this guy here. This was also a little bit of a rescue mission. As you can see, there are a few new little sprouts in there. There's also a random oxalis bulb in there. I forget what the name of this one is, but it has started to grow extremely long, and it actually started to develop this new guy here. The next one next to there is my air plants. There are two of them in there, super simple to take care of. I hardly really give them any sort of care other than misting them every once in a while, and they live here. I also have some dried citronella plant on top of it just because I like the way it looks. Up there is a few cuttings. There's some pothos, there is a prayer plant there, and there's, I believe that's it in there, but that's just a reclaimed top of a light that goes over the light bulbs that I've kind of repurposed. It doesn't fit the light anymore, so I've kind of repurposed it into a little propagation station. Next to that is this little shelf here that I put together, just a little Mod Podge of all sorts of different things. In here, those two are my string of hearts, as well as this guy here. So these have been growing like crazy. The new growth, as you can see by the color here, let's see, so there's actually a new growth point there. And you can see kind of where the old growth came down and where the new growth is coming from. Those are super cool plants, super easy to take care of. Again, that's the string of hearts. Up next to there are my ponytail palm. So I actually rescued this guy from a store as well. Wasn't doing very well, was almost completely brown when I received it. And as you can see, it's loved being up here. Again, super easy to take care of. Just needs a little bit of water every once in a while because ponytail palms are known for retaining the water in the base there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's almost like a bulb, and that's where it holds all that water. If yours does start to decline, generally, because like many other plants, it is easy to overwater, especially when we are a helicopter parent to our plants. But I water this guy maybe once every 2 weeks, and it's done really well there. Here is a rehab prayer plant that I have. It actually just put out this new leaf here. Let's see if we can get a look at it. So this is just the regular green Maranta. Super cool plants. I have a few different varieties of the prayer plant. I love that every night they close up and every day they drop their leaves again. That's actually where it gets its name. Here's my little pet area. And in here, I have just a little peace lily. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video, I am an avid peace lily lover. They are actually my favorite plant, so you will see many of them throughout the video here. Below that is my snake plant, one of the many that I have. This one is the black coral, I do believe. Again, super easy. That's a concrete planter that I made myself, but super easy to take care of. And I give it almost no attention, except for I brought it down here because where I used to have it didn't have as bright a light, and I noticed that the plant just seemed to be struggling just a little bit. As soon as I brought it down here where it was getting some more light, it's really perked back up. You can see a little bit of damage on that leaf there, but all in all, incredible plant. When I got it, it was just this guy here. This one here and this one here are actually new growth that came off of, if you were to dig into here, there's a main root system that goes down, and these were actually the rhizomes that branched off of that to create new leaves themselves. And then back there is a different kind of Sansevieria that I actually picked up at a local greenhouse from one of the local colleges last year. And that has really been doing well. Again, just a little bit of damage there, but all in all, they are hanging on there. And if you look, there's actually a little new growth there. I'm not sure if that's a new leaf or maybe that's a flower. But other than that, super easy plant to take care of. And if anybody is looking for something that doesn't need a whole lot of attention, this is definitely one that I do highly recommend. Next to that is just a propagation of a Monstera adansonii. But again, super simple, super easy. You can see the roots on this thing. I've been water propagating it for just over a month. I'm actually just getting ready to pot that guy in some soil, but it was struggling just a little bit at the beginning, but with regular water changes, and I've also added a little bit of fish fertilizer, it threw out roots like mad. And as you can see, overall there is a little bit of browning on the tip there, but all in all, it really has grown magnificently. Next to that, this is a mystery plant. So when I received this at a store, it had no pot, no tag. I believe it is a type of Dracaena. If you guys know, please leave a comment below and let me know. Also, when I got it, each individual stalk, it was just these two. And this new one actually grew up there and actually produced these really cool leaves. Almost looks like a galaxy to me, or almost like somebody's, spattered white paint on them. Super cool, super easy plant as well. That is something that I do try to achieve with a lot of my plants in my personal collection. I love plants that are easy to take care of and really cool. Just interesting. I don't always go for the mainstream plants. More of my plants are definitely rehabs, ones that I've rescued, and just ones that overall are really cool looking. So next to that, oh, and then the pots here. So you'll see a lot of different terracotta pots. The ones that are colored like this are ones that I have painted myself. I've also sealed, same thing with the concrete planter there, because one thing to note about the concrete planters is if you do not seal them, there can actually be toxins within the concrete mix that can leach into the soil and will actually hurt your plants. So that is something to keep in mind. If you guys would like to know how I made this planter, let me know, and I will definitely do another video on that and show you guys how I create these. Super simple, actually, only takes a few days for curing time, and it's really helped kind of elevate the look in this room. So moving on, this is my Sansevieria cylindrica that I got from IKEA. when I got it, it did not have all of these babies here. It's just an amazing plant. It just looks cool. It's so sculptural. As you can see, it's been putting out babies like crazy. The key with these and with many other sansevierias is do not overwater, because especially with plants like this that have very tuberous stems like this, that is where they hold a lot of water. Sansevierias are also known for not needing a lot of care, not needing a lot of water, and you will definitely notice these tips happened before I got it last year. But what you'll start to notice is with overwatering, these will actually start to mold. You'll get a lot of root rot, and it's just not a good situation all the way around. So I only water this guy maybe once a month. I'll show you the humidifier that I use, as well as the humidity meter that I have. This pot is just your standard IKEA pot. I think it was like $2 maybe when I got it. It was on sale, and it really has worked magic for this plant. As you can see, sansevieria, and eventually I will repot it because its roots have started to extend outside of the pot, but I want to make sure, and I want to wait until it's basically bursting out of the pot before I repot it, because sansevierias do like to be a little bit more root bound, and that's how I've noticed that it really has started to grow quite well. Next to that is my peperomia. I believe this is the Ginny, but I'm not exactly sure. Again, this was another rehab situation. When I got it, it also did not have a pot whatsoever. It was just laying on the clearance rack, and as you can see, it was a little bit burned. These were old leaves that had actually fallen off. I've had this plant for about 6 months, and if I had a photo of what it looked like, I'll add it to this video, but this is completely night and day situation. It's grown to be about 3 times the size that it was, and it still continues to just do amazingly well. Next to that is my Calathea mosaica. I am absolutely obsessed with this plant. I think the leaves are incredible. The design, and I actually have some new growth there. I had heard that these were pretty difficult to take care of, but honestly, it has caused me no problems. This leaf here, there's a new leaf back there, and this one here are all 3 new leaves. And I've only had this plant for about 3 months, maybe a little longer than that. I actually got this from a friend of mine. Shout out to Jay if you are watching. As you can see, it is growing crazy well. Back behind there is another Dracaena. These have really started to grow on me. Before I wasn't really a big fan, but ever since I got this one, again, another rehab situation. You'll notice that's a common trend here in this house. For some reason, I have a knack for taking the plants that nobody wants, the plants that are on their last leg, and I nurse them back to health. Same thing with this guy. There are new growth coming out of there. It is super happy in here. One thing I should mention as well is this room does get light from this window here. This window is a western facing window, so it gets a lot of afternoon light, which is why I wanted to film at this particular time, because I wanted you guys to see what the light looks like during the morning and early day. It is a little bit darker in this room, but once the sun starts to move, as you can see, it really lights up this room. And I've noticed that a lot of my plants have really responded really well. And I didn't want to skip this one. So this is my string of pearls. This one I grew from a 4-inch pot, and it's doing okay. It's got new growth coming off of it. I had a situation with a friend of mine who accidentally poured some liquid on it, and I had to quickly rehab it, which is why you see that casualty there. Don't worry, I forgave her, but hopefully that never happens again. And ever since I started to take care of it again, you can see it does have new growth coming off of there, as you can see there, and then it also grew a few more pearls. Hey, welcome back. So I decided to cut the video off here because the full video was well over an hour, and that was just one room. What I showed you in this video is just one little section of that room. I'm actually going to make this into a 7-part series where I'll go through each section and some care info and things like that. I just didn't want you guys having to sit here for an hour and watch the full video because it is pretty long, and that hour was just the one room, like I said. So stay tuned. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing part 2, and I'll continue on until I do the full tour of all the plants together. Alright, thanks guys. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you later.